こんにちは。田沢製作所マーケティング部の田中です。本日は三子切断者が開発した義肢パーツと題し、スウェーデンのリンデエクステンド社のパーツをご紹介したいと思います。この写真の方、クリストファー・リンデさんと言います。スウェーデンのリンデエクステンド社という会社の創業者でもございます。写真でお分かりの通り、義足のユーザーです。彼は17歳の時に電車事故で両足と左腕を失ってしまいました。その後、懸命なリハビリにより社会復帰できただけでなく、水泳競技においてパラリンピック北京大会、ロンドン大会に出場するほどの不撓不屈の精神の持ち主です。しかし、そのような彼でさえ義足での歩行、特に不整地での歩行は大変困難でした。そこで実体験をもとに理想の義足側部開発に取り組み、開発したエクステンドフットと最新の義肢パーツをご紹介いたします。今回はクリストファーさんご本人から日本の皆様へ向け、電車事故から製品開発までの話をビデオ動画にまとめていただきました。まずはそちらのビデオ動画をご覧いただきたいと思います。
Hi and welcome to our new online meeting room. My name is Marcus Åkesson and I'm the sales manager for international markets here at Linde Extend. Today we are joined by our founder and vice president Christopher Linde. Together we will demonstrate why Linde Extend truly is a unique company, but also in the products that we offer patients all over the world. But we'll start at the beginning.
So, the journey of Linde Extend, of course, starts with my accident. The year is 2006, and by then I'm 17 years old, and me and some friends has decided to go to this car exhibition in a small town in Sweden. And so we go to that and we have a great time, but during the evening night I start to feel quite tired because I've been up early the same morning working at my summer job. So I decide that I will go back home towards our tent, but my friends think it's way too early to go home. So it all ends up with me starting to walk home towards the tent alone. So when I'm walking towards the tent and starts to get quite close to it, I suddenly see that there's 3 guys walking behind me, and directly I get this strange stomach feeling that something isn't really right here. So I continue walking, but that feeling is just increasing, and eventually I feel that these 3 guys behind me, they're actually following me. So I decide that I won't go towards the tent, I will just continue walking, increase the speed and try to shake them off instead. But after that decision, it's totally black. I can't remember a thing more. But of course, after this accident, I try to collect all kinds of data and info just to understand a bit more what has happened this particular night in 2006. And eventually, I came to the conclusion that I actually think that something has happened with those guys behind me. So I think that I've started running and that I actually outran those guys. But when I'm running, I'm crossing some train tracks. And somehow, in the dark, I'm falling on the tracks. Maybe I was looking behind at the same time I kicked my foot in the tracks. So I'm falling handlessly and hit my head in something. And that something, it crosses my forehead and I pass out with both the legs still on the train tracks. And later, the same night, this cargo train comes into this small town. So the train drives over me and amputates both my legs above the knee, but also my left arm up here. I survive against all odds, and I survived lots thanks to that I was an elite junior swimmer before the accident. And I continued with the swimming also after the accident and managed to get a place to the Paralympic Games in Beijing 2008. And later on I continue with the swimming towards Paralympics in London 2012. But during this year between the Paralympic Games, I'm also practicing quite a lot with my prosthetic legs. And I managed to learn to walk indoor quite well and fast. But as soon as I got outdoor, I immediately felt that I have big problems walking outdoor, and the smallest bump in the road made me lose my balance. So after some years of practice, I eventually come to the conclusion that it's not me, it's something with the prosthetics that makes it too hard. So at the university where I'm studying, I start this research group about my own problem. And the question we're asking is, why does I have such poor balance when I'm walking outdoor but not indoor? So eventually we came to the conclusion that it's the prosthetic foot that's the problem. Because if you compare a prosthetic foot to a human foot, the human foot can adapt all the time and you're not even thinking about how much it adapts. But if you compare it to a prosthetic foot, and in my case I'm a double amputee, above knee amputee, and I come and step on something uneven, and then the foot can't adapt to that like a human foot can, that creates like a momental force that pushes me sideways. So I'm pushed out of my balance zone, and I will probably fall due to that. So when we found this problem, we started working on a solution to create a new prosthetic foot that will solve this. And after a lot of prototypes and working on this problem, we eventually came in contact with fiber composites experts working here in Sweden, in Saab, maybe you heard, so defense and aeroplane industry. So they helped us to create and solve this, and they early told us that we can help you to develop the material itself. So the material creates the joint. So the material can flex and adapt like more or less like a human foot to the surface that you're stepping on. So they helped us to develop the Extend foot. And how does it then work, Marcus?
Well, let's demonstrate. Now, the foot is made up of 4 different parts. You have a titanium pyramid, and you have a fiber composite forefoot with a split toe feature, and you have a fiber composite heel, and also a carbon fiber sole. Now, as you can see, the split toe feature isn't all the way through the foot. It's a whole sole. And that's just because now the carbon fiber is really thin, so it helps with the eversion, inversion to keep the stability, but also gives you a good energy return. Now, Christopher will demonstrate. I should also mention before that it's waterproof. Now, salt water, fresh water, and pool water. And as Christopher steps up here on the demo rig, now 10 degrees is what most advanced feet on the market can do. And as we walk up to 15 degrees, now we're starting to get close to what a human foot can do. And as we step up onto 20 degrees, you can really start seeing the foot move and doing all the adaptation. But as you can see, his leg is still in a straight line and the foot is connected to the ground. So the foot is doing all the adaptation on its own. And how does it feel to be standing here, Christopher?
Yes, yeah, for me as a patient standing here, it feels more or less up in the socket like standing on flat ground. If I would be standing here with a traditional split toe, I would really feel a pushing force from the inside of the socket pushing me outwards like this. But now the foot is in total contact of the surface, and I'm much more stable.
And just to show you how the foot is working within the shoe, when I apply pressure, you can see the whole foot is starting to bend. And as a traditional split toe foot is working, now you have the different toes standing on the edges instead. Now our foot is, the whole foot is doing the adaptation. So it's a big difference. So that's the foot.
Yes, jumping forward to our next product or the next problem that we're solving for us amputees. So the challenge is for us amputees that you tend to end up with a lot of different prosthetic legs. For example, if you have a sport activity prosthetic or a regular prosthetic leg, etc., you have end up with a lot of different prosthetic legs. So, for example, I'm a bilateral above knee amputee, so I use my stubby legs quite a lot. For example, when I'm coming home from my job, I want to change into these stubby legs instead. And previously, I needed to take off of course, my prosthetic legs, my shorts or pants, and even my liner. I needed to change into this one before. But now with our new solution, the Extend Connect, I can just disconnect my knee joint instead and use the same socket, same everything. I just disconnect it, and as you see, I never touch any alignment. So just untighten this until it pops out, and then you push the extra safety button, which is underneath in this case, and disconnect the long legs. And then I can just connect my stubby feet instead, like that. And next one, like that. Push in, tighten. So now I have my stubby legs on instead and can walk around with this. And as you saw, I never detach my socket or anything. I just detach the component instead. So really quick and easy and safe for us amputees. So let's say I will go to the job or to the shopping mall, and then I want to be long again. So just disconnect my stubby legs once again, like that, and disconnect it, and connect the long ones. Like that, and the next one. So nice and easy. But let's say I want to jump in a suit or something, or change trousers. Then it's really hard to get the trousers over the foot for us amputees, because the foot is locked in 90 degrees angle. And especially if you have like a suit, it's commonly quite tight down here, so it's hard to get it over the foot. But in that case, you just untighten the Extend Connect like that until it pops out. The foot is still connected until you push the extra safety button like that. And then you can take your trousers, pull your leg through, and then just connect your foot once again. But let's say I want to connect, I want to go and play tennis instead. So let's connect my Nike shoes with the same foot, save everything, pre-aligned from my prosthetist. Like that, push in and tighten. And now I have the same foot, just a different shoe instead. So, but let's look a bit more into the details regarding the Extend Connect.
So I will now demonstrate how the Connect works. Now, the Connect system consists of 5 different parts. You have 3 quick fit units. Those are the ones with the screwing mechanism. And you have 2 base units. Now, these are all standard interfaces. You have the female and you have the male. You have the 30 millimeter tube. You have the quick fit female, and you have the 4-hole adapter quick fit as well. It's made out of stainless steel. It's waterproof, both saltwater, freshwater, and even pool water. Now, with these 5 different components, you can change them up as much as you want, and you can make up to 12 different combinations in total. So you can have the female to the tube clamp, and you can have it each another way. It doesn't matter. And as Christopher mentioned before, it's a 2-step process. So you push it in, and now the safety pin makes sure that it doesn't come off. And then you tighten it, and you secure, and now it's really locked in. So that's the process of the Connect.